Social anxiety isn't just common, it's a remarkable evolutionary feature. Your brain developed this response over millions of years to help you navigate social dynamics, because acceptance meant survival. Everyone experiences social anxiety at some level. The confident speaker at meetings feels it. The charismatic person in public does too. The difference lies not in whether they feel it, but in how they interpret it. Social anxiety is your brain's way of saying, this interaction matters. It's not a flaw or a weakness, it's your survival instinct at work. In ancient times, rejection from the tribe meant losing protection, food, and a secure future. That same instinct remains hardwired in you today. The nervous excitement. Before meeting new people, that's your brain ensuring your social well-being. Once you recognize that anxiety is natural, useful, and universal, it starts losing its hold over you. It shifts from an obstacle to a signal of growth. The next time you feel socially anxious, remember, it means you're human. Your brain is functioning as designed, and you are far from alone. Chapter 1. The social muscle and microskills. Social skills function like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they become. This isn't just a comparison. It's how your brain rewires itself. Each social interaction strengthens neural pathways, making future interactions easier. Think of it like lifting weights. The first reps feel awkward, but with practice, coordination improves. These skills break down into microskills, small, learnable actions. Making eye contact is a rep. Asking a follow-up question is another. Sharing a relevant story is yet another. Each one adds to your social strength. But like physical training, proper form and gradual progress matter. Trying to master social interactions overnight is like attempting a marathon without training. Start small 5-minute conversations, one skill at a time. Celebrate progress. Even the most socially adept people started somewhere. They simply kept engaging, practicing their reps, and growing. Unlike physical strength, social skills have no limit. They can keep evolving for a lifetime. Chapter 2. The 72-30 rule. An active listening. Most powerful social tool isn't speaking, it's listening. Specifically, listening for 70% of the conversation and speaking for 30%. This principle is backed by research on master conversationalists. When someone talks about themselves, their brain releases feel-good chemicals, similar to the joy of eating their favorite food or receiving a reward. By truly listening, you're giving their brain a gift. But real listening isn't passive. It's not just staying silent. It's fully engaging, focusing on their words, tone, and intent, rather than pre-planning your response. When you listen at this level, people feel truly heard. They naturally become more interested in you and remember your conversations as meaningful. Pay attention to the subtle details, how their tone shifts, the words they emphasize, the changes in their energy. These cues reveal what truly matters to them. By prioritizing listening over talking, you form deeper connections than most people ever experience. Chapter 3. Curiosity as a superpower. Curiosity, just about asking questions. It's about genuinely wanting to understand what makes each person unique. Think of people as books. Most only skim the cover, but when you're truly curious, you start uncovering deeper chapters filled with unexpected insights, ideas, and experiences. Everyone you meet knows something you don't. The key is asking questions that open doors. Instead of, "How was your day?" try, "What was the most interesting thing that happened today?" Watch as their face brightens at the chance to share something meaningful. This curiosity creates a loop. The more engaged you are, the more fascinating things you learn, and the more naturally curious you become. Shifting your focus from self-consciousness to discovery often dissolves social anxiety altogether. Chapter 4. The 3 people theory. Every person you meet exists in 3 versions: who they think they are, who others perceive them to be, and who they truly are. Consider yourself for a moment. You have a personal self-image, but others see a different version of you, shaped by their own experiences. Somewhere in between lies your true self. This insight changes everything. When someone seems distant or difficult, remember you're only seeing one version of them. Maybe they think they're reserved, others see them as aloof, but their true self is simply guarded by past experiences. Recognizing these layers makes you more patient and empathetic. You stop taking things personally and instead become curious about which version of someone you're interacting with. Most importantly, this applies to how you see yourself, misunderstood or judged. That's just the space between these three versions. Your goal isn't to make everyone see you the same ways, to embrace all three perspectives without resistance. Chapter 5. Question Funnel and Memory Methods. Question Funnel is a simple yet powerful tool for deepening conversations. Think of it as a narrowing path. Start with broad, easy questions and gradually lead into deeper, more personal discussions. Begin with basic facts, transition into opinions, and finally explore emotions and experiences. This natural flow builds trust and connection. Pair this with the memory palace technique, mentally placing key details in specific locations in an imaginary space. Their job goes in the living room, their passion project in the kitchen, their latest challenge in the garage. This method makes recalling details effortless. When you see them again, you can retrieve these stored facts, making them feel truly valued. People are amazed when you remember personal details. Questions act as keys. The right one at the right moment unlocks deeper conversations and meaningful relationships. Chapter 6. The Echo Effect and Body Language. That echo effect is a subtle yet powerful way to build rapport. It's not about imitating someone's movements. It's about naturally sensing with their energy and rhythm. When two people truly connect, their gestures, tone, and even breathing unconsciously align. You can accelerate this process by gently matching their level of enthusiasm, speech patterns, and posture. If they're animated, engage with a similar energy. If they're reserved, respond with a calmer presence. The key is being subtle. This isn't mimicry, but a way to foster comfort and trust. When done right, the other person's brain recognizes you as familiar and safe. This isn't manipulation, it's enhancing your natural ability to connect. Chapter 7. Social Momentum and Consistency. Like any skill, social confidence grows with repetition. The most socially adept people don't rely on rare, high-pressure events to improve. They build steady, ongoing momentum. Imagine social skills as a muscle. If you don't use it for long periods, it stiffens and weakens. But with regular use, it stays flexible and strong. Frequent low-stakes interactions, brief chats at the store, a quick hello to a neighbor keep your social muscles engaged. Small, daily conversations provide more growth than occasional big social events. Create a rhythm of consistent engagement in familiar places, a cafe, gym, or co-working space. Social success isn't about constant interaction, it's about maintaining steady progress. Asterisk, Chapter 8. Conversational threading and open loops. Greek conversations flow like a well-told story. Every sentence offers multiple directions to explore. These are conversational threads. If someone says, "I just got back from a business trip to Japan," you have various threads to follow. Their business, their experience in Japan, their travel habits, or even their recent schedule. Picking the right thread keeps conversations dynamic. Open loops add intrigue. People naturally seek closure when a story or topic is left unfinished. Their mind lingers on it. Mention something intriguing without resolving it right away. Their curiosity will keep them engaged. By weaving multiple threads and leaving subtle open loops, you create conversations that feel effortless and compelling. Chapter 9. Context banking and permission structures deep connections are built on remembering details. Context banking is the practice of storing important pieces of information from conversations to use later. Every interaction provides potential touch points, upcoming events, personal challenges, or aspirations. Instead of letting these details fade, consciously note them. Pair this with permission structures, natural reasons to reconnect. If someone shares that they have an important presentation next week, follow up later to ask how it went. They mention a new hobby, check in on their progress. Every small detail you remember strengthens the relationship. Thoughtful follow-ups turn casual interactions into lasting connections. Chapter 10. Vulnerability and trust. Building trust isn't built over time, it's built through meaningful moments of openness. Confidence might earn respect, but vulnerability fosters genuine connection. When someone shares even a small personal truth, their brain releases oxytocin, the same chemical responsible for deep social bonds. The key is gradual vulnerability. Start with light, relatable admissions. I was nervous about this too, or I'm still figuring this out. Small disclosures encourage others to open up as well. Vulnerability isn't about oversharing, it's about authenticity. By revealing small aspects of your real self, you create a space where others feel safe to do the same. Real connection happens when both people drop their guard just a little. Chapter 11. Emotional intelligence. Emotion intelligence is like having a GPS for social interactions. It's not just about recognizing emotions, it's about using them as valuable information. Every interaction carries emotional signals, a change in tone, a shift in energy, a micro-expression that lasts a fraction of a second. Most people overlook these cues, but those who notice them gain a deeper understanding of what's really being said. Emotions influence and spread. When someone is excited, you feel a spark of their enthusiasm. When they're anxious, it subtly affects you. This isn't a flute's empathy at work. Instead of reacting passively, use emotions to guide your responses. Match excitement, provide calm in stressful moments, and create space when someone needs it. The best communicators don't just listen to words, they tune in to emotional undercurrents. Chapter 12. Social context. Navigations. Social context is the invisible framework shaping every interaction. Mastering it turns you from someone who struggles to fit in into someone who effortlessly flows through different environments. Every setting has its own unspoken norms. The atmosphere at a networking event is different from a casual get-together. A professional meeting feels distinct from a family gathering. Recognizing these patterns allows you to adapt seamlessly. Notice how people shift. Based on context, the loud storyteller at parties may be reserved in formal settings. The serious leader at work might be playful among friends. Understanding context isn't about changing who you are. It's about adjusting your approach to match the social landscape. The most socially fluent people don't force interactions, they read the environment and align naturally. Chapter 13. Deepening connections. Building deep connections isn't about time, it's about the natural progression of conversation. Think of connection like a gradual temperature increase. You don't go from freezing to boiling instantly. Instead, meaningful relationships develop step by step, in a way that feels effortless and safe. True connection is strengthened through shared experiences, not just words. Collaborating on a project, navigating a challenge together, or even taking a simple walk can create a bond faster than a conversation alone. The secret lies in progressive sharing. Each person reveals a little more, increasing trust and depth organically. It's a dance where both take turns leading, with each step bringing them closer. Chapter 14. Group dynamics. Interacting in a group follows patterns, much like the natural flow of water. Understanding these dynamics allows you to navigate social settings with ease. Every group has three core elements: energy flow, hierarchy, and connection points. Think of it as a living ecosystem. Energy shifts between people, leaders naturally emerge, and relationships constantly evolve. Roles in groups tend to form naturally: the energizer, the mediator, the connector, and the stabilizer. These are fluid, not fixed, and you can adopt any of them when needed. Observe what happens in a group. A joke lifts the mood. A concern shifts the focus. A well-placed question bridges to conversations. These moments aren't random. They follow patterns. The key skill is reading group energy. When excitement is too high, bring balance. When things get too serious, add lightness. When discussions scatter, bring them back on track. Chapter 15. Building a social network strong. Social network isn't about knowing the most people. It's about making the right connections at the right time. Instead of viewing your network as a collection of contacts, think of it as a growing ecosystem that thrives on interaction and value exchange. Meaningful networks aren't built at networking events. They grow through authentic relationships. The key is recognizing patterns, seeing how two people could benefit from knowing each other, identifying who might need help, and facilitating connections naturally. When you become someone who brings value to others, your network expands effortlessly. Rather than just meeting people, focus on fostering and strengthening the right connections. Chapter 16. Digital communication. Skilled social connection in digital spaces follows its own set of rules. Without body language and tone, words carry extra weight, but this isn't a limitation. It's an opportunity to communicate with clarity and intent. Every message, comment, or post is a chance to foster genuine connection. Online interactions allow you to scale your presence. A thoughtful response can impact many. A well-crafted post can reach thousands, and a personal message can create lasting relationships. The key principles remain the same as in real-life interactions. Be authentic, be consistent, and be intentional. Quick engagement builds trust. Reliable presence fosters connection. And personalized communication makes you stand out. Chapter 17. Mastering boundaries. Clear boundaries create stronger relationships, not weaker ones. While it may seem counterintuitive, setting firm but flexible limits allows for deeper, more meaningful interactions. Think of boundaries as a protective framework. They filter out negativity while allowing positive interactions to flourish. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They provide a blueprint for how relationships should function. When you set them with clarity, others instinctively know how to interact with you. This makes social situations less stressful and connections more genuine. Instead of constantly guarding yourself, you can be fully present, knowing your boundaries are in place to protect your energy and well-being. Chapter 18. Social leadership. Being a social leader isn't about commanding attention. It's about fostering an environment where people naturally connect. Think of yourself as a facilitator rather than the center of focus. Your goal isn't to control interactions, but to create conditions where meaningful conversations happen effortlessly. A true social leader amplifies the voices of others. They notice who's being left out, who has valuable insights but hesitates to share, and who might need encouragement to engage. By facilitating introductions, sparking engaging topics, making space for everyone, you cultivate an atmosphere where authentic connections thrive. Leadership in social settings isn't about being the loudest. It's about making sure everyone feels seen and valued. Chapter 19. Advanced social psychology. Understanding the psychology behind social interactions transforms how you navigate relationships, not as a means of manipulation, but as a way to foster deeper connections. Our behaviors are driven by core attachment patterns formed early in life that shape how we interact with others. Recognizing these patterns allows you to approach social interactions with greater awareness and empathy. People's actions are often guided by three core needs: feeling safe, feeling capable, and feeling connected. When these needs are met, relationships flourish. When they are lacking, tension arises. A distant person may need security, an aggressive one may need validation, and an overly attached individual may be seeking deeper connection. The key is identifying the underlying need and responding accordingly. Conclusion, though, it's time to put these principles into action. Start small, stay consistent, and embrace the journey. Remember, every confident communicator once struggled, and every socially skilled person once had to learn. The key is to begin because the world needs your voice, your presence, and your unique way of connecting. Social success isn't about changing who you are. It's about refining and embracing your ability to build meaningful relationships. And that journey starts now with your next interaction. If this content helped you in any way, leave your opinion in the comments. We'd love to hear your opinions and exchange ideas with you. Don't forget to like to support the channel and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Your engagement makes all the difference.